Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Akankwasa Joel, a student of the Public Speaking and Confidence Building Holiday Program of Speech Focus Africa. From this program, I have learned how to make a persuasive speech. Persuasive speech is a speech made to convince someone to do something. So now, if I need something, I don't know how to ask for it, that's what I have learned from Speech Focus Africa. I've also learned how to conduct a debate or a talk show. In that, when I'm there, I can coordinate everyone so that we speak in order. As a demonstration of what I have learned here, I'm going to give you a speech about why schools should not publish the results of their learners. Imagine a world where you walk into a hospital and no matter what disease a patient has suffered, the information of every patient of that hospital is displayed on the hospital's notice board. How would that be? Well, that's what schools do. And it's hard to think that people who do this have emotion, are thoughtful enough to think about the children whose results they are publishing. But you know the most surprising part is that it's only schools doing it. I've not seen hospitals doing it. I've not seen universities doing it. Even churches and mosques don't do this. So what makes schools different? And how is this practice harmful to learners? My name is Akankwasa Joel, and I'm here to help you understand those questions. Top schools usually publish their learners' results for purposes of advancement. But this is dangerous to learners. How is it dangerous? Well, to the learner whose results have been published, they will feel like their privacy has been breached, and they will lose trust in the public institutions. However, if they have some money, they might try to take the issue to courts of law. Now, Uganda's judicial system is congested because we have very many cases that are not solved. So adding a case to a congested system is probably not a good idea, don't you think? They can also face hatred from fellow learners. If this pupil has performed exceedingly well, is at the top of the list every time, other students will become jealous of him or her, and they'll start hating them. However, if this student has performed exceedingly poorly, other students will begin to belittle such a student, and the student will find problems in connecting with other students normally. Now, for the student who performs poorly, it gets even worse. Why? Because they will be judged by everyone around them. That is, the parents, the teachers, even their fellow classmates. What does this judgment lead to? It leads to the loss of the will to study. Imagine you had 50% as your average at the beginning of the school year. Then you do end of term exams and your average is 80%. But instead of celebrating, everyone is judging you for not scoring 9% and 100%. Will you still want to study, even if you have the ability to improve? No, you won't have the ability. It leads to low self-esteem. How does this come about? Today in Uganda, a lot of students tie their sense of self-importance to their grades. So if they fail their grades, then they will begin to value themselves less and less. Leads to anxiety and depression. Now, anxiety and depression often become a mental health disease. But the problem is, here in Uganda, mental health diseases are often misunderstood. So such a student will either get mental health care late or won't get it at all. And in the most severe of cases, we all know that mental health diseases cause someone to develop suicidal thoughts. That person ends up committing suicide. At this point, the future looks dark for the African student. What can we do to help them? To the parents and teachers, as you continue supporting your children, as you continue supporting the learners, always remember that we are gifted differently. So when a child works their best but does not get the expected results, if you are expecting 80%, the child gets 70% instead, and they have worked their best, please accept their results, because they are gifted differently and everyone has the ability to approve if they are given the right support. To the schools, you do not have to use an individual's results for advertising. Instead of listing all the 12 students who have gotten aggregate 4, for example, why don't you just tell us that 12 of your students got aggregate 4? And if you still want to publish a learner's results, at least get the consent of that learner and their parents or guardians before publishing their results. To the children, always remember that God gifted us differently. If you fail in academics, it is just God's way of telling you that your talent may lie in sports or leadership or music and dance. You just have to look. And I promise, if you look hard enough, you eventually find your talent. We should stand up for our rights. We have a right to privacy. But when we keep quiet, our rights are undermined. However, if you speak up and tell your teachers that publishing your results are wrong, don't you think they will listen? Indeed, they will. To the government, yes, it is very good to make laws like the Privacy and Data Protection Act that protect a children's right to privacy. However, if these laws are not implemented, then even the paper they are written on will become more useful than the law itself. Therefore, we ask of the government to strictly implement laws that protect people's right to privacy, like the Privacy and Data Protection Act. Thank you, dear audience, for listening. My name is Akankwasa Joel. Till we meet again.